All right, guys. So this meeting topic is the hero's journey, and who knows the hero's journey is familiar with it. Like, yeah, what's your take? I just want to kind of get. It's a complex story, actually. It's an important story. I believe it's an important story. So I just kind of get different guys. Like you were first, so just kind of what's your take on the age-old classic?
Yeah, that's like the motif for a young man, usually a man, but I guess it could be a woman too. But
It's a man.
yeah, it's a man. Is usually when he's young, he has a feeling, he has a calling, and he feels like he has to pursue it alone, no matter what, and go on his own path, forge his own path, and go into the battle or the danger zone or the challenge, and that's his hero's journey.
Okay, pass it on. Jared,
Something like that.
Jared was next.
So I'm not as familiar with it. I'm just recently familiar with it. I've kind of felt like I've read a lot of books that kind of pull parts of it out. But I started listening to the audiobook about a week before we met up. And so it's like a classic for me. It's just the age-old young man, goes out into the world. And I really like how it was the hero's journey you put in the chat, right?
I put the
Or was that the Thousand Faces?
Yeah, the Hero with a Thousand Faces. Basically, you were in there is the story.
Yeah, and I really liked how he started merging stuff together with how it works and just different things he's seen in life of how people, when they see that, the cadence of that and how it connects together. And so it's just, for me, it was kind of like a retelling of what I've seen of a young man going on a journey, figuring out who he is, figuring out where the trials are, and then kind of working through that and transforming into something else. So, but...
Yeah, to build upon what has been said, it's basically Star Wars. Luke Skywalker goes out. He finds like this hidden knowledge. He's pulled to action. He goes away, goes into battle, and he just comes back, finish the battle. He defeats the Death Star, right? So he saves the day, but now he's being initiated into something larger than life. And then when you go home, now he can't go back to his little home planet, because he left to see a bigger, larger world. So for me, the hero's journey is once you go through something difficult, or you learn something about yourself, that's just, your life is just completely different after the fact.
Right, absolutely. Okay, everybody hit part of it. Yeah, it's good. It's a complex story, actually, and there's two types of heroes. There's one hero who has his calling, right? And he sees it and he goes out and gets it. I think that's the one people know. But there's always the accidental guy. He doesn't mean to be a hero. He just, gets sucked into it, right? He's there. Shit goes down. War is a perfect one, right? He doesn't want to go to war. He doesn't think he's going to be a war hero. But then he becomes one, right? Because he has to, right? It's not his choice. Right? So I always kind of look down on those guys. Like, I don't anymore, but like the guys who 9/11, all those guys died. And I always said they're not heroes. They didn't know they're going to die, right? But now I realize there's two types of heroes. It's funny because I think about this. I think about a lot of ideas, or my own life. But I think that every story that men love is based on this. Everyone, they're always that same thing. And women don't give a shit about this. They really don't. It doesn't motivate women. Women traditionally have roles, right? And their role is simple. It's to, have a child, raise that child, right? Take care of that child, protect the child, right? But the man doesn't have that. Like, we don't have a easy role. It's not predictable. I'm not saying that it's easy to raise a child. It's not easy, but in a sense it is, because you know what you have to do, right? You can't let the kid, fall off a cliff. Got to make sure a kid has water, right? Got to have food, right? Simple, those type of things. And there's still just as much glory in raising a kid, but a man is totally different. Our job is not to be there, the mothering role for a kid. We can do that if we have to, obviously, but that's not our role. Our role is not defined, So I think of my life, if I think of my life, you guys know my story, so I won't go into it too much. But basically, when I left the States was like my calling, because I had chances to work. I had chances to be a part of a company that ended up being very successful. I could have worked with a good job for that company. And it would have been relatively easy. Like I went around the world first. I had the calling, right? And then I came back, right? And I couldn't fit in. I just couldn't. I got the offer. I got the good company offer at that point. And so I had been around the world for like 13 months. And before that, I had been to Europe many times. So I had been to Europe during college, usually summer vacation or whatever, Christmas vacation. I'd go traveling. I'd save my money and go. So then I went around the world, and that was the thing that changed me forever. So like for younger guys, I like to bring them to Bangkok. I like to bring them to Japan because I just think that that's the thing that often dislodges everything, where you're never the same when you see the world. You have options of what you can do. It's like your whole fucking thing gets shattered, Everything that you thought would make you happy, you realize there's so much better things to be doing than that, right? It's just limited knowledge. Most young men have limited knowledge. But when you see the world, when you really see the world, you realize, holy crap, I was just looking in one convenience store for food, right? But there's all kinds of food around the world, right? It's the same with experiences and people, right? So, you learn, like, for example, that your, Mexican brothers might not be the only guys to be your friend, They're the only ones for you, There's a lot of, it might even be that other people are there for you more than your people, right? You just never, you know what I mean? Or your family, right? It could be ethnicity, it could be city, whatever it is that you think are people that care about you, and they don't, It's like, it's just a big illusion, right? So you got to go out and find people who give a shit, right? And then, maybe one or two will, by chance, will be from your old crew. But generally, that's not a reliable strategy. That's what the blue pill, you just believe they care, and then you spend your whole life believing they care. And then you realize they don't, but you cover it up, and just basically this is what you get in life. This is your thing, right? But when you go out and you realize like people that you didn't think would be your friend are your friend, and they're there for you, right? And so then you realize after a while that your people might not be what you think, right? You don't know who's going to be reaching up. You're in the foxhole. Who's going to have the hand, right? You can't really predict it, right? Hard to predict. And also it depends on the situation, right? So anyway, when I went around the world, I was constantly faced with one incredible, surprising situation after the other, and it just blew apart my idea of. It was perfect because then when I went to Japan afterwards, like my idea about women, like I got red pilled on that trip, and one of the situations was I was in Sweden, northern Sweden, nobody's there, small town. There's a girl, she's a virgin, she's beautiful, super young, and she was our tour guide. And she's taking us down this river in a canoe, right? And then she's so in love, she falls out of the fucking canoe, right? So the old man, who's like the leader of the village, he's like, she's in love with you, right? And so then anyway, I slept with her that night, right? And to me, I wasn't going to stay. I like deflowered her, but I couldn't stay. I was on my journey. Like I liked her and she was absolutely gorgeous, but And she was the sweetest thing. She's totally fucking in love with me, that's for sure. But I just had to move on. I never even thought about not finishing my journey. I was just like, and the next day, I just scampered out of town because everybody wanted her. She was the girl that she was the virgin, and there's a small village. And believe me, I'm not kidding. Everybody knew, like the little kids and the old man. So I was camping out. The old man came and he knew the only way out because we were basically backpacking, hiking out of the thing. And he met me, and he's like, "You're leaving, you're leaving, Annika," And I'm like, he's like, "You didn't even say goodbye." I was like, what are you going to say, right? This situation, And anyway, he looks and he's disgusted. He picks some flowers. He goes, I'm going to say you gave them to her, And then he went back. And then I left, And and she had my address. She wrote me all these super mean letters, right? Because she found out in the end, she found out. But anyway, that experience was amazing to me because I never had any fucking gorgeous virgins falling in love with me here, It's like I had, I was active, but it wasn't the same. There was a pureness. It was just totally real, And so I came back here and I just, even in the 80s, I looked, or back when I got home, it was 1990, I looked at the women and they just couldn't compare. Swedish girls were like, they were just, back then, what they ate, they were fucking all skinny. And they all had racks too. And they would be topless all the time. You could see their boobs because anytime there's a park in the summer, they whip it off. Yeah. And then you go to the sauna, naked. Yeah. I go to my hotel. I go to brush my hair or whatever. And then there's a girl with titties out, topless, blowing her hair dry, putting on makeup. And they're just like insane. Eraser heads, huge fucking, the girl's like 18. I'm just like, I can't believe this country, right? I'm like, this is amazing. This is amazing, And I'd be seriously, I'd be with one, and then her friend would come whisper in my ear, like, come fuck me tonight, And her friend looked just like her. I'm just like, oh my God, And her parents didn't care. I was fucking her in the house. Like, this country's awesome, Like, it was just, I was staying at her house, the young girl.
Which country was this?
Sweden. Yeah, it was an open society sexually, And they didn't have a lot of, there was no rules. As long as you were nice to people, it was like, it's fine. The girl likes you. They were traditional. Really.
No, I read that, yeah.
They were traditional, yeah. And that's the way we humans used to be, You'd marry a young girl and you'd be young. And as long as she liked you and you liked her, and that was it. There was no paper or anything, right? And Sweden was like that. They were very cool. Anyway, so I could never be the same after that because I knew that it was going to happen again. And I just looked at the quality of girl here, even in the 1990, and there was just no comparison. I can't tell you how big the gulf was, It's like you live in the rainforest and then you're in a gutter concrete with just sloth around, It's just, there was no comparison. These girls, they just, a really sweet, innocent, lovely girl who loves you. It's like fire, man. It's like a nuclear weapon. It's just fucking powerful, It is powerful. And there's something natural about it. It's just very powerful. And I come back here and everything was just fake. I'm just like, fuck. And then also other things too. But my whole world crumbled. So I didn't have a world anymore. So I was like, I got to go somewhere. I got to go see what else is there. Who knows what else is there? So then I went to Japan anyway. So you guys know a lot of the story. But the thing is like you said, you can't go back to the planet. I couldn't go back. And anyway, so then I went out and did my thing. And I eventually made this channel, right? And when I made this channel, there's a big decision for me because I could be dishonest, you know what I mean? And I could, if I wanted to, I could, shave points, right? You know what I mean? Not tell the truth or not tell the more hardcore truths, right? Just keep that part because I knew a lot by then. And I could just keep it to myself because it's safer. It's much safer not to tell people the truth. It's very dangerous to tell the truth, actually, if you really know the truth about anything. It's not that, it's just because everybody's living a lie and it upsets them. You know what I'm saying? Like
Keep it real.
It just upsets them. They might not even cognitively be aware of what you're doing, but it will be very dangerous for them. And they feel angry about something. They don't really understand that they're living a lie. It's just all fake. And not only that, you've squandered your life. At the end, you die, and then it's like it was all a joke, And it's like, and there's no way to go back. So the grief and the anger is really strong in the average person. So when you tell the truth about something, and especially if it's too late for them to change it, it's like, man, you're unleashing some serious vitriol on yourself. So I knew that, but I decided to do it anyway and make the channel and be honest. And so anyway, then, when I went through my court case for my daughter, they used the channel against me. So the whole court case was about Ronin Man, right? It was all clips from Ronin Man. And I lost my daughter. I lost my parental rights. The judge deemed me a bad person, and that was it. I didn't have a chance. I didn't even have a chance. It didn't matter the law was on my side. What I was fighting was something that it's kind of almost impossible to lose as a father who's there fighting, because the whole point why you lose your parental rights is if if you leave basically and don't come back. That's the main reason, or if you're so dangerous, like if they come to your house and there's bullet holes around the crib and you're dealing meth and somebody just happened, you can be dealing meth, that's fine. You won't lose your parental rights. But if there's bullet holes around the baby, then the baby's in danger because of you, and then they will take the kid away. But even then, they won't do it forever. Maybe 6 months. They'll give you a chance to go to rehab, all kinds of opportunities to come back from that kind of stuff, because you can change, right? But me, I had never done anything that they said. I didn't leave. I didn't have a criminal record. There was no danger. Cops have never been called on me in my entire life. There was no violence. There was no allegations. It was nothing. It was just the judge just fucking didn't like it. It's because of the channel.
Is this the American court system?
Yes. Yeah.
Male
And
judge?
female.
Female. Oh,
Yeah.
surprise.
Yeah. So, is her first court case.
Oh, she had to set an
Yeah.
example.
Yeah. So I
Can I get a new judge?
so for me, I paid the ultimate price for telling the truth, right? In this channel, right? So if you wonder, why is he doing this, or whatever, you got to know I'm serious. Serious about the channel, serious about the shit I tell you guys, And when I did it, I knew it was possible. I knew it was possible, but I didn't think the world was that insane. I just thought, it's not possible that the world's this insane, right? I thought, well, I'll win this case and I'll get creamed in custody, right? I knew I was going to get creamed eventually, but at least in custody, But no, I lost parental rights, so I can't, do anything. I can't support her or see her or pictures or anything. So anyway, the thing is, when you choose, people like often lie or don't tell the truth. They're not dumb or whatever. They're often smart, right? But that's the road I choose, to be honest. So in a way, it's kind of like it all worked out because that's my personality, like really, the bottom line. I was like that when I was a kid. I was like that when I was, when somebody tries to rob me, like this. It's just the way I am. You know what I mean? It's just the way I am. I'm just a certain way. I'm built a certain way, right? So I guess it was. So I thought my hero's journey was the trip, but it was my daughter, really. That was the hard part. But it's fun. But it's like, I think people think they can get it both ways. That you can get both sides if you just kind of stay in the middle. And so somebody would hear this and say, oh, that guy's stupid. He shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have done that. But they don't know me because I think that this is the example that I set, right? There's no other way to do it. You know what I mean? So I think for your journey, your hero's journey, it's not necessarily, of course, I didn't choose the part, I actually didn't think I would lose the court case. But it's when you choose a path, right? When you choose as a man, I think we all need to go through our journey. I believe that's what's missing with a lot of men. is they don't have that. They never, either they run away or they just ignore it. Or, something. There's denial with something. There's something where they think, well, it's a great idea. You know what I mean? But I'm not going to quite, I can kind of, and my advice is that you kind of are what you are, right? So I would say to be yourself completely, because you kind of only, in my opinion, have two choices. You can either be yourself or be nobody. You know what I mean? In the end, with the hero's journey, and whether you got called or it happened to you, right? You know what I mean? So I think that as you watch movies, you see, and you feel strong feelings, right? Watch movies. It's because it's a hero's journey, right? You're seeing somebody do this thing, experience this thing, get challenged by this thing, right? So I just want to pass it around, and anybody has anything they want to say. We're 20 minutes in, so we can either do this short or long, doesn't matter. And who's got something they really want to say?
I do.
Yeah. Just make sure you don't press the button to turn it off. Yeah.
Where's that?
Yeah.
All right. I want to say thank you, Ronin, for doing that, man, for making my life like 100% better and giving up your freedoms. I guess everything is a trade-off. But thank you very much. I didn't know that the court did all that shit. That's bullshit, but it's crazy. But anyway, what I was just telling, me and Tyler were just talking, I guess we're kind of on a journey to find the truth. When you listen to YouTube or whatever, you want to find the most truthful thing, the correct thing, and I found your channel, and I forgot where I was going with this, but I guess what's going on in my life right now, real time, it's kind of strange. My stepdaughter, who was taken away from her mother, I guess when she was maybe 2, 3, just recently found her mother in November. And turns out, long story short, is she really needed a male role model in her life. So the first person she came to was her step cousin, and she kind of bonds with me. So it's kind of interesting, to put all that together, and But anyway, I just wanted to say thank you again, because that's really why I'm here. Thank you very much. I'm also here to teach my kids this stuff, which they are resistant to. Most young guys are just getting a piece of ass. They really don't care about what's going to happen. They're like, no, it's never going to happen to me. I won't get divorced. I'll do it this way. It's not going to happen. You're just crazy, going through, whatever. Because guys kind of, boys kind of listen to it, or tighter with their moms. And that's just the way it goes. But at least they know when they do go through something, that there is something like this, that there's people that care, and, like-minded people, men, and it's a good thing. But so thank you for doing that. Thank you for putting your shit out there like you did, and I really appreciate it, and I'm sure everybody here probably feels the same way, but it totally made my life totally different, dude. I can't say that enough, but so I have a lot more to say, but I can't remember what the fuck it was. So, I'll watch you.
Yeah, I'm trying to avoid the button. I've had an opportunity to be a hero, whether I wanted to be or not. And literally, it's been, for me, for the last 23 years, going on 24 now, I've had this 7-bedroom house, and I've been renting out rooms to undergraduates, mostly from the college and then graduate students now. But I've had two meth freaks move into the house. One that never displayed any bad behavior, and then finally moved out. I didn't even know for certain he was a meth freak until 15 years later, when one of the undergraduate girls brought her girlfriend home and to visit the house she was living in, and her friend wouldn't go into the house because the guy was her father that had lived in my house before when he was strung out on meth. And I wasn't a hero for him. I didn't know, and I tried to help him because I do that with my tenants. But the other meth freak, he went out and went on a 15-year binge, and then he literally came to me looking for some assistance, something, and I managed to get him into, while he was facing 25 to life for he was a pipsqueak meth user, but happened to have made friends with the local cartel head cartel man. So he was riding his bike back and forth to this guy's house all the time, picking up dime bags and 8 balls, but while the guy was moving pounds and kilos and truckloads. So he got rounded up. And I managed to get him into our men's circle, and it really saved his fucking life because he was 18 months in pretrial, and managed to get him to a point where we had about 20 men show up at court for him, standing up to vouch for him because he had cleaned his act up, and now he's a senior drug rehab counselor, and he's got a kid, and he's struggling but doing well in many ways. So another time in between marriages, I was in a house that the other bedroom was this woman who was a stone cold criminal crack whore that I didn't realize quite how bad things were. And she brought her 12-year-old daughter into the house to share a room with her. And literally, it was absolutely fucking nuts. I mean, she was splitting the crack with her 12-year-old daughter, and that daughter ended up going away and ending up. She was grabbed and trafficked here in Vegas, and then they were flying her back and forth to Oakland and here back and forth, and she just had totally lost it, and then she finally ends up in Santa Cruz with 2 kids, and just searched me out because I was the only stable person she'd ever had any experience living with. And it took me 2 years to get her to get straightened out, but now she is being a good mom and actually raising a 10-year-old boy, a 9-year-old boy, and a 7-year-old girl, and the kids are doing great. And it's really because of the years I spent working with her. And it's a blessing and a curse to be a hero, because when you are a hero for someone, then it's not that they're just thankful. They're also quite often they have expectations, and they have a lot that they put on you that they expect you to continue to be a hero. So be a hero wisely, because but it is good because my own kids aren't having kids, so now I've got 2 grandkids, so to speak, and it makes my wife happy to be so she can turn her grandma on, and it's actually it's working out fairly well, which is good, but. And those are just a couple of occurrences where you can accidentally become a hero. You know, it's stepping up when the time is right, and sometimes it can be simple. Sometimes it can be hard, and so I just want to tell you that it does give me pride, gives me. Feeds my ego, and it also gives me some joy, being able to change lives where I know that she's broken the cycle with her own 2 kids now, because she literally, I mean, when you're smoking crack with mom starting at 9 years old, it really fucks up people pretty bad. So. But now the cycle's broken, which is all I can do is hope to build a better world, and you got to do it one person at a time sometimes. And I'm lucky I'm getting to do it for 3 people at once with this little family. But it's don't shy away from doing what you can is what I say, because that's what's going to build our world better, and that's like I said, it's hard, but it's definitely worthwhile. Yeah. So who wants it?
So I think one of the hardest things for me, just I guess we'll call it after I went after the call to action, right? Was just coming home and you shared news with your buddies back home, right? And then it's almost like they're kind of receptive to the things you have to say, right? But there's nothing almost like that. Now you're giving knowledge to people or sharing things, but then they're not sharing really things back. And then they kind of then they start questioning your lifestyle. They kind of question why you do things. And if you're not socially calibrated, for me, at least personally, it was a very rough time because I just felt no connection in my hometown. Everything I thought I knew, like my parents were strangers and the best friends that are, that were big talkers. And you suddenly start seeing them for what they are, because it's easy to be a big talker and make other people feel bad when you're in a small town where nothing happens, you're not being challenged, and then when you're the one that wants knowledge, your brain is so open, right? There's no ego when you want knowledge. And when someone talks to you in a certain way, you believe them. And for me, I didn't know that there were people that could talk nice and use nice words and still be the complete opposite. And even as a kid, I kind of knew that because my mom and dad, I remember them telling me stuff, but I know I was a truth teller because I would just say what I saw. And then as a little English speaker, I'm learning how to read in first grade, second grade. And they're telling you this is good for you. They teach in school at that age. They tell you, do you want to do this so you can learn to stand up for yourself, so you can explain things. So I'm taking all that knowledge back home to try to, justify, right? But when people don't care what you have to say or what you have to do, or worse, like they usually really don't care. They have hopes and dreams, and that you're willing to struggle for them. It's almost like you make people feel uncomfortable. Because I was just the guy that, for example, I don't drink coffee, right? So I'm just the one that's people want to go drink coffee. Let's go to Starbucks. I was never the guy that could just tag along. Let's go eat here. If I see the food and I see it's not real food, I was the guy that wasn't afraid. Well, let's go over here. Let's do this, because I've already had experiences around the world. To know, okay, this is real food. The food in the United States that we think is food, it looks like food. Right? It's food-like.
Looks delicious.
It took me a long time, so So it's all these things that you try to tell your friends, hey, or your parents. You see them get older, and you try to it's just something so simple that even before leaving the country, just sometimes you get a taste of it, but because you want people to accept you. I think that's the biggest danger, because sometimes I've seen some people that just want to be so accepted that I see them lose themselves. And when you're a friend, and especially for me, I grew up in a poor community, and I saw everybody's story, right? And when you grew up, you have empathy. You want to lift everybody out, but you'll pay the fucking price. I paid my price, the price of my little brother. He fucking made me lose a lot of money, and all I wanted to do was, take care of him, because I knew, I saw him get abused. I saw him that he had very limited opportunities, and I, as a big brother, thought, well, let me help him out. But then I realized that even though he's my little brother, he's really my parents' child, and that was like the biggest thing I had to realize. Okay, yeah, we come from the same stock, but it doesn't mean that, not that I own him, but you kind of feel like you owe your little brother something, especially when you're the older one. You're being taught responsibility, this and that, and you're like, okay, but sometimes you got to let people go, and if they're not willing to see, what you're willing to see and what you're willing to, to hurt for, to go through the pain to gain knowledge, it's like you have to be careful, who you are giving back that energy to, because it's very tempting once you go out in the world and you're excited, you come with this fresh energy, but sometimes the people around you, you got to be careful, because they might say something and they'll make you feel bad, or they'll make you question, they'll put things in your head. So yeah, guys, protect that call to adventure, protect that desire to want to see something and something more in life, to want something more,
You talked about acceptance.
Just make sure it's still going, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You talked about acceptance and, people kind of pulling you back sometimes. And for me, it's been really hard, because there's a lot of people that don't hear the call, or they hear the call and they're afraid of it. And so they want to stay in their life. They don't want to move forward. And when you start talking about it, they start pulling you down, because they don't want to be confronted by it. And so, for me, I kind of felt this whole thing when I travel. And so when I went to Russia, I just got on a train. I was going from Moscow to Leningrad. It's called St. Petersburg now. And we just got out of this crazy escape room and had a bunch of people they were allowed to hit us and stuff. So we were kind of feeling beat up. And I got on this train and we're going up north, and there was this older lady. She was in her, I would say, early 70s. And she had this little crown pin on her shirt. And, of course I asked her, I'm like, what is that? And she spoke very broken English. She walked with a cane and stuff. And she said, oh, that stands for Russian royalty. And I'm like, well, tell me about that. And so she gave me a firsthand account of what it was like to live in Russia when Lenin died, when she was a little girl. She went to jail for listening to a American radio station, because they weren't supposed to do that, all the way until 2019 when I was there. And that's probably the most real hero's journey history lesson of what it was like to live in Russia and struggle, because their depression was the 90s. That she said, guys fell in two categories: the guys who were scared on the couch, and the guys who got off the couch and went out and robbed. And that's how they put their society back together. An engineer would find someone who robs, basically, and form a partnership with him, and he would protect him. And they would start building their economy that way. And it struck me because it was so real, because we live in such a plastic society. And I come back and I'm sharing some of that, and a lot of my family is like, oh, are you a commie now? I mean, they just didn't get it at all. At all. They didn't see any of the rich history or lesson, and they want you to go back to where you're supposed to be, and in the place that they imagine you to be in. Then we need to go back to that. You're the homeowner. You should have a white picket fence, And for me, I shared, when my first story was, I was struggling with focus. And part of that is because when I see some of that, and then when people are scared and they hear the call from you, or they've ignored the call in their own life, and they've just pushed it down. And then when you bring it up, it's bringing that back up, and they feel like a failure, and they get mad. So they come out there and they're just swinging a bat. And it's hard, because you got to surround yourself with like-minded people. And for me, that's why I travel. I understand different perspectives of the world. I love that, to slip my mind in someone else's eyes and see how they view the world enhances my own. And it shows me where I'm deficient and where I need to open my mind more and see like the Russians, they're very hospitable people. They're very loving people, but they have a very cold exterior. And the way they think is the way they speak. You know, it's very harsh tones and not a lot of connection words, but like that's how they think too. And that's just a very unique perspective. And so for me, the hero's journey that I observe, you know, through other cultures just really speaks to my own. But like that's been my problem, has been staying on that path, because there's so many hands that are trying to pull you off that path. There's so many people that are scared, and keeping that focus. Like for me, that's why I'm glad I'm here, because there's a lot of people here. We all have different focuses, but we're all on our own path that's very similar to that. And it's really hard in a changing society that wants to just kind of die. It just wants to kind of just, you know, become a robot, especially with like tech and AI now. It's so easy just be on your phone and just be What's my journey? For me, my journey is working through business and growing through that and spreading what I know. I really enjoy teaching, but I'm young enough that I'm still trying to find my place and where that works.
You don't know yet. It's cool.
So yeah, I feel like I've got some basic knowledge, but I'm still struggling with where I'm fitting and all that. So I'm trying to put the pieces together. That's what I shared from the beginning. But anyway,
that's good. Yeah, not knowing is better. Is so much better than knowing. You know, it just, you know, everybody knows now is the right answer. Just Google it. Yeah. Just Google it. You have the perfect answer. What to say on someone's birthday who's handicapped with, you know, a mother in jail and a dad and, you know, whatever. You know, you get the perfect fucking Instagram caption now. But, like, don't know. That's the thing about it, is you don't know. And I was just hoping everybody wouldn't say, well, my journey to this side. It's like, that's not how it works. It's just saying you don't know. That is very powerful. Men, you know, can say they don't know. You know, and because you it comes along, right? It fucking, you know, it just like comes, you know, and then you feel it, and you're like, I guess this is it, right?
Yeah, it drives women nuts. I always say that. Like, I'll have appointments, and I remember when I was married, my wife was, oh, when do you have this? I don't know. You know, because for me, it's like, I'll get there when it gets there. It's next week. Like, I'm not, it's jotted down, you know, and then it's like, whatever, right? I'll wait till next week. And I've noticed that with women, too. They want to know the date. You got a doctor appointment. They want to know when, what day, the exact time. And it's good, right? But sometimes if it's like, oh, when's your doctor? Well, it's next week. Or what time? Oh, I don't know. It's after work. Well, what time? After work was good enough for me. You know, so it's like I've had this experience with just women, and I guess on a small scale, right? But yeah, that's all I want to say.
Well, been married twice, but didn't really have my own purpose until actually the second divorce, which is almost done. But taking the trip to Bangkok really expanded myself, the things that I want, what I want to do for myself. I'm to the point where I can probably do what I want when I want, but I think what I really want now is I don't want anything other than to...
Hold it from the bottom.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There's no case.
Oh, okay.
There's no case.
Yeah, I really don't want anything other than to, I mean, I can challenge myself intellectually, but I just don't want things. I don't want to own things. I don't want to have a business. I don't want to have to take care of any of that stuff. What I really want is, the only thing that's really going to make me happy is probably helping other people, because that's really what it's all about. Yeah, you know, life is tough, and it's tough for a lot of people, but I think I've got to the point where I don't have to worry about myself anymore. And there's a lot of people you just see sitting out on the streets here, you know, and they're just having a tough life. And you can go help anybody anywhere you want. You don't have to do it in one place and stay there. You can move to another spot and help other people in another area. You know, I mean, if you tie yourself down with an anchor with property, possessions, whatever, you're stuck. And, you know, I don't really want to be stuck anywhere anymore, at least with relationships and in my life. So that's kind of what I'm looking for now.
Cool. I guess add some. Yeah, that's the thing. That I didn't really mention that, but that where the hero's journey is, you hear the call, or you're just find yourself in the battle or whatever, and then you learn that you learn the lessons, and then the hero brings them back. Like, so allegorically, he's on another planet, he comes back.
All right.
Yeah, I just got to put it out there. There's a couple things that I learned recently. This guy named Corrender, he went to counseling, and his wife, they were going to counseling. It turns out in California now, if you start talking, and if either one of you ever felt scared, the guy, the psychologist, whatever, he's supposed to call the police on you now. It used to be they couldn't say anything to anybody. Now they have to call the police.
Did you say what?
If either one of you say you felt scared at any time
Of the other person.
of the other person,
Oh, yeah.
that's insane, guys. People are going to jail and then having to fight their way out just over somebody talking about some argument in the goddamn kitchen, probably, right?
Don't go to counseling in California.
Don't go to
No,
counseling
not worth the
in
risk.
California.
If I call the cops, I pretend I'm a woman.
Yeah, so
I need them there right away.
So I don't know. I also I've had a daughter. I've raised her since she was 5 months old. The mom's not been in the picture more than twice a year for about 4 years in the beginning, and so I needed help, right? So I got a nanny, and then I got another nanny, and you won't believe what they can do. Anybody can petition the court for custody of your kid. Anybody. Not just grandma. The lady that was taking care of my daughter did this. The nanny that I hired. So watch out. Watch out, guys. Yeah. I ended up not seeing my daughter for 4 years. Here you go. Here you go.
Oh, I just say, like, I wanted to say, if you want to keep continuing a second, I wanted to say with you guys, like, when I said don't do counseling in California, some people would say, well, that's because, you got a bunch of guys who would, bad guys. No, it's the same reason you wear a seatbelt. You don't wear a seatbelt because you're a dangerous driver. You wear it because in case something goes wrong, you're less likely to get injured, right? So that's why you don't do counseling anymore in California. Do not go to a counselor or a psychologist or a psychiatrist with a woman in California. That right there is gold.
Can that be a topic so the knowledge is not lost?
Yeah, that's very good topic for a meeting.
That's very important.
Because right there, that kind of thing, like, never do it again. They should all go bankrupt until the laws change because it's outrageous.
It's like you need a lawyer to go to counseling.
Yeah. No, a lawyer's not going to help you. A lawyer's not going to help you. The lawyer will only take your money. You're still in trouble, right? It's like, you don't wear a seatbelt. You might have a doctor, but you're going to have a broken back and a busted up face and, and all this other stuff. And you're going to lose your car. You'll have a doctor, but it's just to put the pieces together if you're lucky. That's what a lawyer does. So don't go to fucking... If that is true, and I'm going to make sure if there's any shades on that is right there. Nobody should ever do that in California. And I think more and more, you really don't want to get married in California. I like California. You guys know I love California. It's a beautiful place. And you really can do California right. But if you get married there, you got to pay alimony for life right now.
Wouldn't you argue also getting married
for fucking life?
In any state?
I mean, till the day she dies. She could die at 90 years old. And then the costs get higher. The 18-year-old doesn't cost much. The 90-year-old costs a fuck ton. Because there's a
Yeah, just talking about the subject of the journey. I think where I am right now in my life is, I've been through a lot, or I've had a lot of experiences in life in America. I've done a lot. And I almost feel like I guess I've kind of almost done everything that I could do, in the U.S. up until this point. So now I'm kind of at the point where, like you said, I do feel a calling to kind of like explore more, experience more, learn more. But the only problem is, it's almost like a psychological thing because, I kind of set up such a comfortable situation for myself in my life, in terms of my routine and all this stuff, that you really have to like push past that and say like, I'm willing to be uncomfortable. I'm willing to be, kind of feel that intimidation or, feeling lost or.
Take risks.
Yeah, take the risk.
When you go overseas because they got different diseases.
Oh, I heard that. Yeah. I'll try to get the shots before I go,
You probably don't need shots, but I can.
Stuff like that. So I guess that's where I'm at the point where you kind of feel like, or I feel like, I've done everything I could do here, and now I'm ready to kind of have that new experience. But like I say, there is, somewhat of a fear or intimidation factor that you got to push through, especially when you're going to some place that's very different from your own culture. So, but I do feel the calling, and I am going to do it. Like, I'm really forcing myself to do it. I almost feel like, in a way, if I was in more pain or I was more uncomfortable, I am to some extent, but I'm just saying if I was ready, then it's easy because you just say, I gotta get out of here. I'm just running to the airport. I'm taking off. But for me, it's almost like 50-50. I'm in pain, but I'm also comfortable. I'm unhappy, but I'm also happy.
Tell them the full story. Tell them the full story.
Oh, what about my girlfriend?
Yeah, tell them.
Oh, yeah. Well, even coming to Vegas, I told her I was coming to Vegas. Well, I didn't mention this because, all you guys are going to be. But I said, I know Ed for actually like 23 years. I said, I'm going to see Ed for, 5 days in Vegas. And she lost her mind. She was screaming, crying, yelling. She left. She wouldn't talk to me for 5 days. I had to call her friend and have her friend talk her down. It's just like, I don't know, man. It's like women are very emotional, I guess. But so it's a miracle I'm even here, because I almost didn't make it. But I had to, kind of really take that masculine stance to even be able to come here.
You're a bad influence, Ed.
I'm gonna say this.
Ed got me in trouble.
I just want to give you one. I want to give you one red pill right here. Women are not emotional. Okay, the reason why she did that is because she knew you could control her. She could control you. So when you called her friend to talk her down, that was the sign that you wanted her back. You got to be willing to let her fucking walk. Everyone, not just her or the next one. You got to be willing to let them walk at all times. It's not for life. It's not forever. You're free to go. That's partly why I've never had any allegations, because if anybody doesn't want it, I'm just opening the door. I'm like, here you go. See you later. Nice to meet you. Best of luck. I have none of that. Like most guys, they almost block the door. Most guys, they chase the girls out the door. I don't do that. And I think you shouldn't either. If a girl's doing something, if a girl says to me, I can't go to Vegas, I would say something like, well, I understand you'd feel that way, and it seems like, you would like a guy who doesn't go to Vegas and do things like this, but you got the wrong guy here. You got the wrong guy. I like you. You think you're a great girl and everything, but we're just not compatible. You know what I mean? It just does. It's not a good match. As good as you are, I like a Mercedes. I love Mercedes, but I don't want to own one. They're too. I don't know what about them. They're great cars, but I just don't want a Mercedes. And so I would just say, you're looking for a different kind of guy, not me. Because for me, when I want to go somewhere, I'm going to go, and you're free to go, and I just am going to go. It's like and no hard feelings. It's over.
You're not seeing it.
We'll never see each other again. Right. So get your stuff, move your stuff out, and have a good life. And she'll say, no. I say, no, I'm totally serious right now. No kidding around. It's over. Okay. You don't want a guy like me, and I know you'll never change, and I don't want you to change. I want you to be yourself. Yeah. So go and live your life. I loved you. I had a great time. It's over. I'm going to Vegas. Let's get your stuff out in a reasonable time. And it's been fantastic, and I'd like this, and your mom, please say hi. And, and then she'll just go crazy. Maybe a few weeks later, you can let her back in if you want to. But basically, it's like anytime that comes down, I don't get angry. Right? It's just like just think about it. It's very simple. You don't want me to do something, okay? But I want to do it. Right. Damn, that's too bad. Well, that's too bad. What a bummer. You know what I mean? I thought this, I came all the way down there. I thought this key was going to work, but it doesn't work. The key doesn't go in the lock and work. I got the wrong key. Yeah, I got to go back and get another key. I got the wrong key. That's the feeling. It's just like, man, this could have been so good, but it's just not right. And then she'll say, you're taking it too far. You say, no, definitely not. Most people live their whole lives in denial.
Yeah.
We're just not compatible.
They will try to take every day.
You want me to do this thing or not do this thing, and I'm just not that guy. I have nothing against you, and I understand a lot of women. I mean, it's totally normal. I think you're a great girl, and it's been great knowing you. It's been great dating you.
I do agree exactly with what you're
And
saying.
that's it. It's over.
Right.
And I am very nice about it. If you do not have that, if that is not your bottom line, you're going to be blue pill for life. I will say it that clearly. It is true. You just have to be like that. You're not angry, no hard feelings, and now what? But at the same time, there's more to it. So I can tell you more as she does this and does that. There's different things you do. You know, like it depends on the girl. Depends on what she says 3 weeks later, right? But anyway, for now, it's over. And what that means is that you're really ready to let it go.
Right.
It's like an employee that works for you, right? And you're willing to let them go. You're planning on a new employee. You're putting out, job ads and stuff, and you're ready to go. You're ready to move on. And if by some miracle the guy changes his mind, decides to stay, there is a possibility he could stay, but it really will never be the same for me. Like, this isn't just a small thing. It's kind of like the relationship. There's 4 beams holding up the house. One beam is gone now for me. You know what I mean? And I know the other one's going to go. Okay? Because that's the way she is. And now, a lot of times a girl is a lovely girl, but she's this way. And she can't even see it or control it.
Yeah,
And so she will try. A lot of girls are good girls. They'll try to change, but they just can't become another person. And I can't either. Right? So it's no hard feelings. It's like, babe, this could have been so good, but we're just not right. And there's no time to waste. Like, you got a life to live and I got a life to live. Right? You got people to meet. I got people to meet. You know what I mean? And really let her know that this is the fact. This is, and it's true. This is the type of thing that you bring up. She'll say, well, it's too much. Say, no, it's not. It's the exact opposite. This is the exact reason why. Right here. You want something. You won't change. I could fake it, but I'm going to be unhappy. You could fake it, but you'd be unhappy. I don't want you to be unhappy, and I don't want to be unhappy. Sometimes things are inconvenient. You know what I mean? Like, inconvenient, true. We can be friends. It's great. But just not living together and not lovers anymore. You know what I mean? And it's been great knowing you, and I wish you the best of luck. I'm going to Vegas, and I hope your mom's good if you need any help or whatever. And that's it. That's it. It is. The door is closed, man. And when I leave out that door, it's better if you don't live together. But when I say that speech, I am fucking serious. And again, even if she comes back, I don't know what it is about the world, but if once they've done that once, it's going to happen again.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to happen again, even though they know. And the second time, it doesn't work. The first time, they might say, like, I'm so sorry. It's like a guy who wants to quit drinking but can't quit drinking, right? He really wants to quit drinking but can't quit drinking, right?
Oh, when you're ready, you're ready.
He's making a promise. He's trying to do the right thing, but he can't yet, right? Right? So the thing is, they're like that too. So I have sympathy on them, But also I know I don't want to ruin their life either by staying together with them. Because I'm going to live my life in a way that I think is smart for myself. And I want to also be comfortable, and I want them to be comfortable. So it's not just a speech for me. This is a deep belief. This is a solid foundation of freedom right here. It's a solid foundation. And once you really understand that, the speech won't be fake, because it will be serious. Because you're not. The thing is, most guys, they get so upset. They talk, they do all these things they regret. You have to be very careful not to do that, because once you muddy the waters, then it becomes something else, right? And you got to know in advance that you're ready to walk away from any situation, anytime, right? If things are not right.
I do try to structure my life that way so that actually even my brother would say, I guess he's married, but he said like he keeps everything light. Like he has most of his stuff in a storage locker. So even in his marital home, he keeps everything light. So in case he has to go running out one day, he can.
I know what you're saying, but it's not really what I'm saying. It's not really what I'm saying, because you might find yourself in a situation where you're together, you have a business or something. Something could happen, right? Where you find you win the lottery together and you have millions. You know what I mean? I'm not saying like it's not always bad decisions. Sometimes good things happen, and then suddenly you find yourself kind of stuck with them, right? You know, or you get in a terrible accident. She's the one that helps you. Hey, things get complicated with things, but the thing is that I am not going to. Well, the thing is, you have to be very. There's a lot of things that have to be foundations in your life that should be set first, because you have to really know yourself and do the right thing to start. You can't do this with, like, let's say you want to go and fuck another girl and lie to her, and it's not right, and you know you don't feel good about it, and then you're going to drive down the thing when she doesn't want you to go. See, you can't. It's got to be clean. It's got to be clean. You're coming to meet us. There's nothing wrong with that. You're comfortable with that. You're comfortable with where you're at with that, right? And then it's easier to do. So it's like when you're cheesing out in life, when you're not being a man, when you're being like all like, then you can't have these rules. So there's things below the foundation. You know, there's the bedrock, right, that you have to set first, you know, for yourself, so that you can have boundaries, so that you can say no, you know, and then you're just like, and I let girls go like this all the time, and girls cannot believe it. I'm telling you, they are shocked.
Yeah.
Like they are totally shocked. Like they're just like, well, there's two things. I'll just say, just so I don't leave you guys with the wrong impression. One girl right away might say, like, understand right away and change. Girls are very in the moment. And there's a certain girl who would just totally change, and she wasn't even serious about it. She'll be like, oh, I was totally wrong. That was totally stupid. Go and have fun. Yeah, it was just my whatever, you know. And then that's fine. Then I say, okay. And there's the other one who's like serious about it, and then we got to get more serious in the conversation. Then I know one beam is out of the house, right? Even if they come back 3 weeks later. Right? And I will let them, if one beam is out, I'll let them come back 3 weeks later. You get free pussy, right? You know what I mean? So it depends on how bad it is, right? So one beam out, I'm okay. But I also know the other one's going to go, because now the house is weakened. The trust is not there. And I know that she's not the person, right? Right? She's not the person. Because if a girl hears this, a girl should hear this speech and say, fuck, I never knew who you were. You know what I mean? Now I know. Like, I get you. And I totally am wrong. I'm sorry. Like, I totally get you. Of course you can go. You know what I mean? She'll be like, I want you to go. You know what I mean? It's just my own weakness that was saying that. And like, in a way, you're kind of saying she has more opportunity than before, because you're more than she thought. Because girls find out who you are through this. And you kind of find out who you are through this. Because are you willing to, right? You find out that you're able to do it, right? And then she finds out, fuck, this is a real man here. You know, oh, I haven't had one of these in a while. You know, okay. And then there's dumb ones. That's the smart ones, right? And then there's dumb ones who are just going to keep pushing it. And then it's just like, you just go back to yourself and say, is it even worth the pussy for this one? And your judgment will tell you. Some of them it is. If the girl's 18 and super hot, I will forgive more things. I'm 59.
That's so true.
Yeah, it is very important too. It depends on if a girl's like really high. There's a point where the girl's like so attractive and hot, and you're older and don't have anything that usually would make that girl like you, where you are not making the compromise you would have been making at 18 with her. Like, you're winning, right? You're fucking winning. Every time you take a bra off, you're winning. You're just like, oh my God. This is gorgeous, right? So you do have to have that. That's the shades of gray. But don't kid yourself on that one. And if you don't have much experience with women, you probably can't even calculate that. But if you have a lot of experience, you can probably say, wait a second, I'm winning here. Like, am I winning? That's where you got to go in your heart. Am I winning on this or am I losing? And if you feel like I'm winning, but I don't understand it, then talk to somebody, one of the other Ronin guys, and figure out what it is that you're winning on. Because there's something you're winning on, right? If you feel it, right? So then the other one is the 3 weeks. She'll come back, the second one. 3 weeks later, she makes an apology. She brings a fucking cake to your door, leaves it there. Hearts. I'm sorry. I want to see you. I miss you. I was wrong. No problem. She comes back. Again, one beam is gone. Maybe the house can survive with one less beam. You know what I mean? I don't know. But it's less likely, right? But then there's the other one who it's just like, this bitch is done. This bitch is done. So you have the foundation, the bedrock, and then you have the rule. You have the comfort. With the bedrock is the comfort with yourself, with letting it go right now. Everything is inconvenient. Everything. There could be a fire. We have to run out, and this means the last half is canceled. Everything's inconvenient. People get pregnant, fires, people die, car crashes. Everything in life is inconvenient. So you have to be ready for any moment this to happen. And you're just like, well, this is one of these things. Am I ready? I'm ready. Here you go. Boom. And then when you move on, it's hard. It's still hard if the girl's hot. It is hard. It is hard. Because sometimes you won't have another one. So it can be hard. It can be hard. It's easier if you have a lot of them. Like if you're in Asia, it's going to be easier. It'll be easier to build this muscle, and then you can use this muscle with any girl. So I now have the muscle, so I can do it like I did it with the Vegas bottle girl here, who's hot and everything. And it's like, there's no fucking chance I'm going to change. Like, I am set in stone on these rules, right? There ain't nothing changing here, right? And so you will be able to use them, but you do baby steps, right? Overseas is a good chance to practice. The what was that, flight simulator overseas, right? Yeah. Where you're testing these things, right? Yeah. So anyway, let's go. Dennis has been trying to go. Who was first?
Let him go first.
Okay. Yeah. Let's make sure this is on. Yeah. Okay.
This is gold, and this is a beautiful thing that I learned from Ronin with women. Right? It's like, and I fucked up because I had this gorgeous girl, and I was angry and I was pissed when I left. Right? And that's fucked because she will never come back. And she'll tell all her friends that guy's a jerk. But if you leave him like that. They're like, oh, he's a real man. And now, you get, this last girl that I left. Because it's female nature. They always want more. They're always going to push that boundary. Until you say no, they're going to have you in the wedding chapel.
And you're saying no with a smile.
Yeah.
And with peace.
And with peace and with grace and with, I love you. This is great. But, I just can't do that. And I'm not going to do that. And they keep coming back. So
but even if they don't,
and you know what?
You really cannot think that.
No, I know, but
you gotta know it's like letting a wild animal out of the cage.
Yeah, for sure.
The bird is going away.
Yeah. But many times they do come back, and it's great pussy, and it's a friend, and they're a kind connection that you still can continue on into the future, right?
You can keep them around, especially if you have a harem. If you have a harem, then you're going to constantly have girls with a 1 week timeout, a 3 week timeout. They'll just kind of
and they become girlfriends, right? They become friends that you still have this emotional connection with, but you're the man who said no, and they're very attracted to that. They're very attracted to the man who said, I'm not going there. I'm not going to give you.
I just want to add this because you said two things. One, that they're going to come back because they love it, and then that they're going to respect you. Those might not be true. They might be true. It's very likely that it could be true, but you got to know that it is not part of the equation for you.
Right. Yeah.
You are ready because a lot of times they will not respect you because they won't understand. Right. And now I had one girl come back years later and tell me. She didn't figure it out for years. And then she came back and she's like, I understand what you were saying then, And she said, I was wrong. I couldn't see that you had changed, And I was like, it's too bad because time had passed, right? Yeah. But I appreciate that she told me that, but I knew it couldn't, it couldn't work. So don't bet they're going to respect you. Don't bet they're going to come back. If they do, slot them in. But you'll give them a second chance if they do the right things. But basically, you're always ready to walk. And that's why you want to have other countries available. Because when you know you can get plenty of sweet girls somewhere else, I can't tell you how that will change you. A lot of you guys listen, but you don't really understand yet. Once you see it once, you'll be like, yeah, you can put up with a lot of shit when you know that you got good times whenever you want it. It's weird. Like when you know you can't eat and you're starving to death, you just feel terrible. But if you know you're going to have a huge meal as soon as this is all over, then you're like, oh, I can handle this. Whatever. Another 8 hours, fuck, whatever, Because you're going to get a big meal. But if you don't know, and that's how most guys are, they think they probably won't get any more food, right? Pussy. But if you know that that's available, it'll even help you here. Because you can have discipline, right? Because you're like, well, if I want to eat, I can go eat. Yeah. And no problem. So don't, even though it's true, don't even say the words that she's going to respect you, she's going to come back. It's like, no, we're not a good match. You didn't, so you're like a robot, the rules. You're just like, no, not a good match. Have a good life. Great to see you. Edgar, what are you doing? Let's fucking go to Mexico.
I guess the real goal is to lead with kindness and a smile and grace, like you said, and no expectations whether they're going to do whatever. But the real goal is to leave on good terms in peace, and just be able to walk away, because then
and you're laying down a law for her. She's seeing what it is. You're being clear about it.
Yeah.
Right. You're not angry, just emotional.
Yeah, not angry.
That
was a hard one for me. That was so hard.
I should be able to go to Vegas. Right? That's totally reasonable to go to Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
If that's not acceptable, ooh.
He has his own business, he works hard. What the fuck?
Yeah, we got problems here,
Yeah.
You got the wrong kind of guy. Like, I'm not the kind of guy who would do that. I'm not doing it for any bad reason. It's just that you're not I have them free. I'm allowed to go to Vegas. I have money.
I will say what you were saying before about, if you've been somewhere else and you see this abundance, or even if you're actually still here in America, let's say you got 2-3 girls in rotation, it's so much easier to have that discipline just to be like, hey, this one's out, because you have 2 others anyway. But when you have only just one girlfriend at the time, and because you're just working hard on your business, then it's a little bit harder to do, just because you say, oh crap, man, now I can't devote as much time to my business. Now I have to get out there, do the dating.
No, there's a cheat sheet for that. That's why guys study pickup. Is because the reason why guys study pickup, and this is what a lot of guys don't understand, is so that you don't have that feeling. Because I know right now, I can go on the strip and just talk to girls all the way down the strip, just talk, blah, 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 get some numbers, and then have a date. Right? I know I can do that. I can go to LA, I can do it. I can do it here. Once you can do pickup, cold approach pickup, that is it's not the best. I think best is going to Asia myself. Just because they're sweeter. It's like if you fish in a dirty pond of fat fish, you might catch some fish, but they're not really the ones you want to eat that much, right? Whereas if you go to this beautiful stream and the water's clean and the fish are, healthy and everything. So the thing is, pickup just allows you to catch fat fish around here. So I don't think it's in that sense, but you can see the value of it. It's not to get laid. It's that you don't have that feeling that you can't be honest and be yourself, and you can't control your life because you have no other choice. At least if you can get another woman, even if she's not your dream woman, that's pretty good option. Just to have one woman who's going to come over, suck your dick, whatever. A girlfriend, right? You're going to have that. That's the difference between a friend and a girlfriend. Friends don't suck your dick. You know what I mean? So girls are like, oh, that's so. It's like, no. Well, think about it. There's a difference, right? You know what I mean? That's a romantic relationship. You get romantic and you do sexual things, right? So, so that's why you learn pickup. That's why guys learn pickup, and that's why guys travel, is so that they can have that, not that feeling of I can't do it. Even though I know what to do, I can't do it because if I do, it's like I can't quit the job because I can't get another job because I got a fake resume, right? if you got a fake resume, you didn't go to college and it says you did, and you got all this stuff, and then if you quit, you're never going to get the job because now they check or something. Then you're fucked, right? You want to have it where you're solid, right? You can walk away, right? So that's it. Did you have anything else?
One more thing.
And then Dennis. Yeah.
Yes, for sure. The hero's journey for me, which really helped me, was ayahuasca. Now, I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but for me, it was like giving birth. It was so fucking intense. So basically, I was drinking at the time. It kind of lured me in, one drink with a shaman, full body bliss, staring at the stars and getting like levitated into the stars. The stars are coming down. I'm like, fuck, that's good. Fuck, that feels good. I want another drink. Give me, crawl over there through the temple or wherever it was and have another shot. Boom, all changed. Blackness. Mm-hmm. Back in time. First fucking negative experience I had as a child. Right there. And the purging, they talk about the purging. It's actually like it was like a black hole in my stomach. This experience would shoot into my stomach and I'd have to puke it out. The puking would literally last like an hour and a half. Slowly. The black ball. Oh, it's almost out. Stop puking. Oh, it goes back down. No, please. No. Fucking start puking again. Finally, an hour later, that one's out. Oh, thank God. Laying there in a pile of puke and sweat. No. There's another one. Fucking back to it. Fucking boom. Here again. So, literally 10 years of therapy in one night. Getting all those fucking things out just like right now. It's doing it. You're getting it out. You're not talking about it. You're not fucking around. Like you're fucking in it. And it's fucking, it's right. Yeah, it's just like that. And that's what I have to do next. I have to step up and do that again because it was literally fucking hell. Like
psychedelics are amazing.
Oh man, it can be dangerous. If you're not, if you're not solid, if you've got psychological issues or whatever, definitely watch it. But yeah, that's the next journey for me.
Thank you. Okay, Dennis next.
Okay, Dennis.
Man, yeah, this is golden stuff, man. I learned some things back in '97. One is set your standards, the foundation Ronin talked about. Set your standards. And that's one of the hardest things to do and even harder to hold on to, especially if the pussy is good. You mentioned something about free pussy. There is no free pussy. No free pussy. And always question, is the fucking I'm getting worth the fucking I'm getting?
I'm just going to say, if you have a harem of Japanese girls in the late 80s, early 90s, it's pretty damn close.
Well, close. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The sexual revolution, it was pretty close.
Well, 97 is long ago on what's going on sexually. One of the things is set your standards, and then if there's one problem with the girl, get rid of her. Literally. Really, one problem. Why fucking put up with it? Because it's going to come back again. Now, back in '97, it was unless she swallows, then two problems. But now, now it's got to be tossing your salad and threesomes before. That's the only reason to keep him through two problems. It's
right. There is a level. Right?
There's levels. There's levels.
Then,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And remember, no matter how hot or beautiful a woman is,
there's some guy somewhere sick of her shit.
Exactly. That is so goddamn true. And the ones that aren't so hot, the ones that aren't so beautiful,
they fucking amazing.
They try harder. God, do they try harder.
I got it. I'm going to do a video, okay? We call those girls A for effort. A for effort girls. Yeah. I'm going to do an A for effort girls because it's not about the beauty, right? A for effort girls are awesome.
And it isn't easy. And that setting of your standards and holding to them, that's something that you need support to do it. I mean, that's what the circle is about. I mean, because they want to nibble at all those standards just so much. I mean, there's so much richness that's happened in the last hour that I can't respond to all of it. But be aware that there are women that want to fuck you. They are out there right this minute. And you just have to make yourself available to them and be open to it. And don't be shy about it. I mean, if all you need to do, literally all you need to do to find some decent hookups is go to a grocery store, go into the produce section and say, how would you cook this? And, and then, come over to my house and teach me or show me. And every man should know how to cook at least 2 really good dinners. And then you need to learn how to cook breakfast. That's all it takes, man. That is it. Cooking for a woman is an impressive fucking thing for them. I mean, little thing like that. And so take advantage of it, man. It can be easy as pie.
Thanks, Dennis. That was awesome. Yeah. Cooking is good, man. I like cooking anyway. I love cooking. All right. We got an hour and 20 minutes. Let's.
I wanted to come back to what was saying Paul B about about being in Thailand because I have been there for 2 years and I have my hero's journey there and coming back after to Europe and even you have a RM, a rotation of girl, you can still fall. I mean,
wait, if you have what?
If you have few girls, you don't have one girl. You have one girl you may like more, but you have other girl. And this one was a 20 years old cute Thai girl. She worked at.
Let me just say, in case people don't understand, I want to add real quick, is that yes, he is absolutely right, and this is the complicated part. You can have 10 girls and be in love with all of them, and it's a slave to all of them. Believe it or not. You think if you have 1, if you have 2, you're going to be safe. You got 8. No, you can be. It's the weirdest thing about guys. We can just have a bunch of girls and there's 1. And then we're just fucked with that 1. And that's okay. You just got to be honest. And you got to talk to another guy who's a player. He'll help you. But you got to talk because don't just use logic. Just say, wait a second. I have a bunch of girls. One of my friends, he's like a real pickup guy. And I had this one. And then he goes, you're the kind of guy that can be in love with all of them. And you can get fucked up even though you have the other ones. And I looked at him and I thought, because he was the only guy who could tell me that, because we both would pick up girls all the time, right? The other guys they didn't even know what the fuck was going on, right? But he did. And he knew me and he cared. And I was like, true, I got to watch myself. So just getting girls doesn't solve your own problems, right? It helps. It makes it easier. If you have 6 job offers, it helps. But you might have a job for whatever reason you don't want to lose, or you might have a girl you don't want to lose, and you can still destroy your life, even if you have a bunch of girls. And I think there's almost like a karma of the world. If you have too many girls, you're going to meet your nemesis. I've said this before. What did I call that? No. I said it in one of the videos. It's like meeting your match. Like, you're going to meet that girl somehow. She knows you perfectly. She accepts you fuck the other girls. She goes in deeper. She lets you whatever kind of sex you want. She is cool with it. And she even learns to enjoy it. And then she goes in deeper and she finally gets the keys to your fucking crypto mind. And then she knows everything. And she's totally cool. That's a very dangerous situation. So just having a lot of girls does not insulate you totally. It helps. And especially when you're starting, it'll totally cure. But after a while, trust me, it's just as dangerous. It's always just as dangerous. Women. Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's exactly what you say. But I mean, she's cute. she work at Sofitel, so she know to behave like she work at the VP section, and I don't know what she does on me, but she know to behave with me, and yeah,
a lot of girls.
yeah, and yeah, I got girl when I was in Europe. I got even more, of course, in Thailand, and I love to love, so that maybe I fall into really that girl, and then at the moment they can feel that. So even you have game, you can put your line, say, I think we have to. I feel it's not going well anymore. Like, yeah, let's split it. And you don't really, you cannot let her go. Even you say something, you yeah.
Okay, I got it. You need some advice. You need it. Okay. This one here. Okay, so how I fix that one? You can fix that one. I know how hard it is. Here's how you fix it: is you draw the line with the one. Okay, you call the other girls. Say you got 6, right? I called them all, and I said, "I'm fucked up over this other girl. I like crying and shit." And so they come over. They're like making dinner, and I'm like just bawling for like 2 weeks. That's how hard it was over this one. And the other girls were coming, making dinner, fixing clear. Like I cried all the way through a down blanket, But I never budged. I never called her back. See, but I knew I needed something seriously powerful to allow me to do that. And the other girls coming over, and just they were amazed that a guy could have so much emotion. So they were, I think, hoping that I would feel that way about them. But they didn't know it would never happen. Right? It would never happen. You kind of just feel a certain way about certain girls, and that's the way it is. It's totally illogical. And I didn't feel that way about them yet, and I never would. And I never did. And not that I didn't like them, but I didn't have that kind of Romeo and Juliet feeling, or whatever the fuck you call it. So that's what I did. That's the way you cure it. Call at least one other girl and have her come over and just be honest and just say, I need you to be here, And they love to be mothers and shit, so that he can be your mother for a couple weeks. And I cried through a down blanket. Like, it's like this puppy. It became like a pancake. Yeah. And it was great because I realized that the other one cared about me, right? And she was there supporting. The other ones would call. And they kind of got to know each other, the other ones. And it all worked out fine. But the thing is, I think the girls were all blown away that a guy could have such emotion. But at the same time, I never budged. I never fucking stalked that girl. She was 22. She was perfect, man. She was fucking perfect. I never bent. So that's the thing. You can have a lot of emotion, but you have to have a way that you never bend. The emotion can be so strong, and you still don't have to bend.
He's a lover boy. He's fresh.
Yeah, exactly. This is it, right? So there's a way out of that one. Okay. Let's end this one pretty soon. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, in my case, I didn't tell to the other girl I have other girl. So maybe I get a new girl. And
I broke it to him at that moment.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah. Okay, and you start anew from zero. Okay. Yeah. I already got that actually, using a girl as a nurse, like emotional, and I feel a bit guilty about that. That's, to be honest. But in the same time, it went to really interesting relationship with those girls. Yeah. So it was just
2 of her best weeks of her life, I think. I swear to God, she was so happy the other girl was gone.
Okay. It was just my experience. I wanted to share, but you can fail at any time, and I'm still in contact with that girl, but I know I a bit fucked up. Like I know, but still, basically, when I stopped contacting her, she's going back to me. She was a bit lesbian, so she was okay for getting other girl. I mean, the crazy, perfect. I mean, I would say the hedonist paradise, let's say.
There's something secret about those ones. Yeah, they have something.
Anyway, letting her go and set you free, and how much the value she give it to you, you have to be able to say, to distance yourself emotionally, and that's lead to finally loving yourself, I think, and yeah, I will finish on that.
Yeah, I think you're kind of like the bumbling lover boy, and then like the bumbling lover boy, the girls love that. Like you can like say things to her and then break your promise. Like there's a certain way. I know exactly what you're doing. Yeah, it works. If they like you, if they're stoked, yeah. Okay, there's different ways to make things work, different personalities. All right, anybody? We should cut it off because it's an hour and a half. Anything you got to say?
Yeah, I want to say something.
Okay.
You have to wear a rubber because when a kid is involved or pregnant, actually, if a girl comes back, I really haven't. I could have examples, but it's got to be quick. Girl comes back to try to get with the tough guy and wants to control him, gets pregnant, gets that seed, and has you by the balls, and maybe wants to, she can have an abortion or not. And so if you tell her, fuck you, I never want to see you again, it's impossible to say that.
No, there's another way. It might not be able to do it, but there is another way. The other way is you say, babe, look, it's not going to work out me and you know that. But find another guy, pretend it's his, and we can be friends, We can still be, together for life, basically. And then she'll go do it. If she really loves you, she's like fucking Charles Manson. Like he tells them to do something, they go do it. Yeah. If you got her, you say, look, I think it's no. There's no child support. She's getting another guy to pay. She's gonna go out and get it. What I'm saying is, if you want me, here's what you do. Go out and get another guy, right? Raise the kid with him, and we can still be friends, And if she really loves you, you can do that. It's a powerful move. It's not something everybody can pull off, and it depends on the girl. But there is ways to do it. And there's a lot of guys who would love to raise a kid, actually, you guys. There's a lot of guys who would love to raise a kid. Kids are fucking great. They really are.
Or your sperm and get it clipped.
There's
Fuck, man.
No. Take the risk. I take the other way. I never wear condoms. I got very good at stopping, The way you don't get girls pregnant, if you want to practice the old school ways, is you take a piss and then you stop it. And if even one drop comes out, you're not good yet. Yeah, you got to be able to like full pee and then just like, and then just nothing comes out. You practice the Kegel muscles and you will be able to do it just long enough. But here's the thing. The hotter she is, the longer you're going to wait to do this. If she's really hot and it's really good, that extra 100th of a second could be your demise. But I accept that. The same when I race, that I could die. I accept that. But if you train your Kegel muscles, you can, yeah.
You say you don't recommend getting a vasectomy?
I'm not into it at all because you might change your mind. I know supposedly you can do it backwards and you can store. No, old school, man. Just better for me. Everybody's got a different feeling, right? For me, no. It's Kegel muscles. It's choosing the right girls, traveling, and then and being okay with whatever.
See, he's okay
Because-
with having a kid if it happens.
Yeah, because the thing is,
might not be.
I like kids. So if a kid did come, I'm okay with that at some level. But it has to be kind of fate, if you know what I mean. It has to be kind of like fate, if it's that situation. Now, when I made my daughter, I wanted her. I planned it, right? But I also have part of me who could be like the Brady Bunch with 6 kids. You know what I mean? So, like that's part of my personality too. So, I kind of am okay with fate on that. And you got to search yourself how you are. Can you roll with stuff? Yeah, exactly. There's different strategies, right? And they all work for everybody else. But don't be somebody you're not. Because there's something like, if you're cool with it, then just say, fuck, I don't know what's going to fucking happen, but I'm cool with it. I got an Italian friend. He's totally like this. He's just like me. We always talk, And he's just like me. He's like, and we went to India together, and like, there was like all these chicks. He's like lover boy. All these girls are loving him, He's got his G-string on, He's all tan, a gold chain, And the fucking girls like these fucking girls, and he's just like, oh yeah, good to see you. You know, if he has a kid with one of them, she goes back somewhere else, and sorry, no, I'll see you again. You know, and then he just gets another one right there. Just kind of mumbles through it, right? If you can pull that off, and it's not bad. There are different ways to go, and you have different skills. You have to be super honest and see a lot of different guys, and you'll figure out. Maybe you have more options than you think, right? You might have more options than you think for living a great life, you know. Not that that's wrong. That could be totally right? But the traveling will help you to see more. You might be more of a lover boy than you think. You know what I mean? If you travel, you know, where you don't have to close off. You know what I mean? You're like, it's okay. I mean, a Filipino, $1,000 a month covers a kid. A chick in the countryside, you know, in the provinces. You can be daddy and show up once in a while. Couple months, you know, daddy's home, right? Maybe that would be worth $1,000 a month, right? Same as a car payment, right? Yeah. Young wife, whatever, you know. All right. So, did you want to finish up? Did you want to finish anything? Did you want to say anything more?
Well, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And it's as far as like everything we're learning, and it goes against like the norm, you know. And how you're saying, like, when you tell other people or the people in your life when you're doing this new kind of life will push back. It's like I've had to deal with that my whole life. Like I made a decision a long time ago. I don't know why. I just intuitively knew I shouldn't get married. And I never have. And I went out with a lot of chicks. I was homecoming king. And anyway, so it's like, and then I had my own business since I was 22. And it's like I come up with new ways to do things constantly. And, you know, you'll have guys that do concrete for a bunch of years and you have a way better way. They won't want to listen to you, so you got to fire them. You got to get some other guys that'll listen to you. You have a different way of doing whatever it might be, like as construction in the union or using a tractor in a different way. And you're trying to teach these guys. I'm just saying, you got to just hold the line, do it, be confident with it. All this new technology will really, really help you. Like, I don't know, but you will get pushback. There's no way around it. Like with other people, I try to tell men in my other men's organization for years about all the changes we need to make, because they're pretty much all about staying in a relationship. Well, 80% of them aren't in a relationship. What the fuck? You know, like, in other words, it's really, you're up against it. It's great we have a crew. Stick with the crew. Don't let all that bullshit hold you back, because it's all bullshit. It's all, I mean, if you want to be married, that's great too, right? There's nothing wrong with that. But there's a lot of risk involved. Now we're all aware anyway, right? So I'm just saying, yeah, just from my own experience, I changed the way things are done my whole life. Like I do constantly. I make things more efficient and just as good or better quality all the time. And God, I've been putting up with this shit with other people for years because they won't listen to me. But anyway, anyway, just hold your standards, your terms. It's a little different if you're going to stay in a relationship. I mean, who was it? Gary Body, I think, said it best. He knows him. He's got 2 daughters. He's got a wife. He's surrounded with women, right? And his wife's going, you don't need to go to that men's meeting tonight. He'll be like combing his hair. Let her, yeah. See you, honey. You know, I'm going golfing on Wednesday like always. She's going, no. He's like, wait a second, I got to clean my ear. What? Oh, okay, yeah, whatever. And he goes golfing. You know, he goes, I want to go race motorcycles again here, honey. I'm gone. When are you coming back? I don't know. And he just goes, you know. That's the key. If they stop you from doing all that, they will hate you. They will hate you. That you're their bitch now. They like the guy that they got in the beginning. If they can change you, they hate you. So don't, whatever you do.
Yeah, the stakes are high, man.
Yeah.
The stakes are fucking high. All right, I just want to say thank you guys for coming. And let's clean up the room. Let's Scotty P comes in here. Nothing's broken. Everything's good. We'll take the garbage out stealthily down to the garbage cans in the parking lot. And I don't know. He's probably working. We'll probably meet him up later today. Tonight we're going to go to the comedy show. We should also do the same. I think we can get 18 guys in for free. So we'll just have to get 18 guys. We went on Thursday night. It was fucking hilarious. And he picked on our group, and it was fucking great. Especially Paul. He picked on him. It was great. He was very good, actually. So we're going to see Butch Bradley tonight, right? Yeah. All right. So thank you for coming.